AkronHipHop.com, the Reporter NewspaperOnline.com. As you can see, I'm sitting here with the legend himself, Kofi Khemet. Listen, the name is powerful. What do Kofi mean?
Kofi is a male child born on a Friday.
Okay.
So, today's not Friday, so you don't know me a birthday present until tomorrow.
Okay.
Every Friday is my birthday.
Well, you better say it in the last name. What does the last name mean?
Khemet means black. And the way I got it when I married my ex-wife, she didn't like her last name. I had already changed my last name, but she didn't like that either. So we gave our daughter, our oldest daughter, the name Khemet, and then we changed our name to her name. So her whole name ended up being Nefertiti Kamaria Afia Khemet. And the first name was very controversial because we had all our children at home. So right about the time that she was coming down the birth canal, one of my good friends, he's an artist in LA, he called talking about he wanted to talk to us about something, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, hey, I ain't got time, call you back. When I called him back, he found out it was a girl. He said he had a good name for my daughter. I said, what is it? He says Nefertiti. I said, dude, I'm not naming my child after your best-selling picture, okay? He wanted me to promote his picture. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. But I told the ex that, and she was like, she liked it. I said, okay, well, I'll research it, find out some more about Nefertiti. And then if it fits, then we'll go ahead and name her that. So that's how she got her first name. Nefertiti is her first name. Her second name, Kamaria, she was born on a full moon. So we put that in there. Kamaria means like the moon. Afia, she was born on a Friday. So Afia is the female version of Kofi. So
okay.
So we gave her that name, Afia, and Khemet means black. So that's how we got all those three. That's how she got those three names. The first name means the beautiful one has come. Nefertiti is the beautiful one has come. So her whole name means the beautiful one has come like the moon on a Friday, black.
You better say it, brother. Hey, speaking about Nefertiti, man, are you familiar with what they just? I think the talk is about that bust, full regalia. They got on. I think it was the Today Show. They finally unveiled it, took the curtain off the thing and everything. Straight up Brooke Shields in the Khemet helmet.
Brooke Shields.
Now, when you see stuff like that, man, what do you got to say about that?
I don't have too much to say about it, man, because it's just, it's just the same old, same old. This is what's been happening the whole time. Okay, look. Ethiop, the word Ethiop is Greek for black, period, dot. The Greeks gave that name to the Ethiopians that we still call Ethiopians today because of their skin color. Not because of the color of the soil or some other thing that they come up with, but because of the color of the people. They called them Ethiop, or Ethiopians, meaning black. Everybody knows that. But when the Ethiopians whooped the Italians at the Battle of Adwa in 1896, all of a sudden, Ethiopians were no longer black. They're primarily Caucasian now. So they're now dark-skinned Caucasians. Now, when I say dark, I mean twice as dark as me, even darker than you, with a full-on afro. So there's like, how in the world so it has nothing to do with the way they look. It doesn't have to do with their hair. Their hair is good hair or straight hair, nothing like that. It's just that they whooped these Italians, and no African nation could beat any European nation in battle. So the only way they could justify being routed by the Ethiopians was to make the Ethiopians white. They had to wash them white. So that's the same thing they're doing with Egypt, because no African nation could come up with any accomplishments like what the Egyptian civilization did over a period of so many thousands of years. So therefore, you got to whitewash it.
You mean no European nation? Or did you mean no African nation?
No, I said no African nation.
Okay.
Yeah, I did mean African nation. That's the mentality.
Okay. Oh, okay. I feel you.
That's
I feel
the mentality.
you. Okay, I'm there with you.
No African nation could come up with anything like because they still don't know how they built the pyramid.
Right.
They're trying to figure it out.
Okay, I was lost there, but now I'm back on. Well, since I was lost, guess what I found? I found a brother that makes and publishes books for kids, for the youth. Tell somebody who that brother is, man.
Well, that would be me.
Hey, show the book, man. Now look, man. Look at this book. This is Ohio's Black Athletes. Not only if it's a black book with our heroes on it, it's demographic specific. Speak on that, man. Speak on that. What made you decide to do that?
Well, my dad, he founded the Department of Pan-African Studies at Kent State, and part of his philosophy had to do with he felt we needed to see us on the walls of the place. And so he made sure every single wall in the center of Pan-African culture was thoroughly painted with images of black people, black scenery, black places where we lived, we came from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we had a school. He had a school, Ida B. Wells Community Academy over on Copley Road.
I'm familiar.
And the school had to be closed. When it got closed, we did everything we could to close it in a way where the building would be in good shape and somebody could use it and things could happen with that building. But the fire department, the fire marshal would not allow us to flush the fire suppression system. So the pipes busted and we had a flood in there. And when that happened, the fire department came out and shut off the water. But they wouldn't shut it off in advance. They wanted to wait till the pipes burst and then go and shut it off. So when that happened, it destroyed a number of things that were still in the building, and some of those things were those images that he had at Kent State. He took them off the wall and brought them over to Ida B. Wells Community Academy. And so I really felt bad that they had been destroyed like that because he had those images on the walls for years, a good 15, 20 years at Kent State. So what I did is I wanted to take those same kind of images but focus them on people from right here in Akron.
Okay.
And so this was, in part, it was an inspiration from my dad. In part, I was inspired by Nana Mahdi, who was the principal of Stewart Afrocentric, and they had a black academic challenge that they were doing. That was not just within the Stewart, but it was open to all the public schools in Akron. Any of the elementary schools could join in on this academic challenge. And it was a great idea. A number of schools were participating. And what it did is it meant that Black history wasn't just on the calendar for a month. It was on the calendar from September because the teachers in all those schools needed to get their children ready to compete and be able to talk about Black people during the academic challenge. The only problem was that the materials they were using were like boilerplate materials. Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. We love them all, but what they got to do with Akron? I mean, the school was located on Vern Odom Boulevard. Vern Odom, he wasn't even one of the questions. He didn't even come up. Or what's his name? Mr. Stewart.
Right.
Mr. Stewart, the photographer. He wasn't on the part of the list of questions. So what he asked me to do is to come up with some materials that were specifically related to Akron. And so even though Stewart is no longer around, I've taken on that project. I've been working on it about 10 years. And so on the cover of the book that you saw earlier, there was a picture here at the top of one of my teachers, Shirley McLean. She was also a teacher in Akron Public Schools, but she also taught at Kent State, and then she taught at Walsh College. And she wrote the history of African Americans in Akron. And so I put her on the cover of the book. She gets credit in the beginning of the book. This is, by the way, this is a multimedia series. So there's 2 books for the youth. Then there's another book for collegiate level. And then there are the trading cards, which are what I have here in my hand. And so what I wanted to do is to, again, feature athletes from this area, particularly from Akron, and then I wanted to make sure to be able to represent as many sports as possible with the idea not to encourage our youth to go into sports because that's a no-brainer. Our youth love to participate in sports. But what I wanted to do is to get across the idea that our youth have to be able to turn athletic success into success in life. And that's really the goal, because your athletic career may only last 5 years. You may never even go pro.
Right. Well, listen, man. First off, I got to say this, man, before I forget. We appreciate your contribution to the game. Real quick, man, as I'm talking to you, can you flip through some of the pages, man? Real quick.
All right.
On the thing.
I'm going to start at the back.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason I'm starting at the back is because this book is in chronological order, and I've got some nude pictures. Because one of the things that happened is we didn't have any women in the original version that I came out with, and so I've been adding some females to the into the mix.
So it's like it's an illustration, and it's like a quick bio.
Quick bio, and the children, because I just do the black line drawings. And
Color, it's an activity book.
They get to do right, so it's an interactive book.
Get out of here! That's genius.
Yeah,
I gotta break protocol. Give me a grip for that. Hey, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I see you and everything. So let's flip this. Do we got LeBron in there?
Yeah, of course you gotta have LeBron.
Yeah.
But I got Kofi Khemet.
Okay.
He led the Akron Zips to the first national championship, NCAA national championship in soccer.
And a lot of people don't know, Akron, Ohio's soccer team is like nationwide, man.
Exactly. Of course,
there
you gotta have LeBron.
Gotta rap.
I got LeBron here in the fantasy jersey because he never wore the 6 with the Cavs. He wore that with the Heat in Miami. But there was a fantasy shirt that came out right before he came back to Cleveland, so I used that one.
And let me ask you a question: how much First off, how much do the book cost, and where can we get it from?
The books are $10 each. You can get them directly from me. My website is BlakFacts.org. That's BlakFacts.org. You find me online. You find me on Facebook, and you'll find me at the Black History Month celebration at the Thai Soul
Fusion Grill.
Okay, up on Romick Road.
And then not only that,
23rd.
man, we're gonna work out a deal to where we can have an advertisement on AkronHipHop.com. Keep that thing going on so people can see that. And when they come into AkronHipHop.com, they can actually click it and it'll take it to your Facebook page.
Right, and the proceeds from the sale of the book, the cards, etc., all goes into my nonprofit organization with the goal of being able to give out these materials to the children for free. Because my goal is not so much to sell the books as it is to get the names of these people in them and their stories in the minds of the youth.
Okay.
So that, when we say Paul Robeson, they're like, boom, they can tell us who Paul Robeson is. So I recently went to a what is it called? It's the Akron, the Akron City Rec. Mm-hmm. City Rec. They have a basketball program.
Right.
And I went over there to do a little presentation, and I was asking the children, did they know any athletes from Akron? And so after LeBron, the room goes silent because they don't know anybody else after LeBron, except for one youth, and he said Billy Ray Thunder. I'm like, Billy Ray Thunder? Where you come up with that? Because he's one of mine.
Right.
And he said, oh, I got the book.
Hey, listen, man. So, listen, I appreciate you, man. Don't forget to check my brother out. He's going to be connected with AkronHipHop.com, so you'll be able to click that link, and it'll take you to his situation as well. Hey, listen, man. Anything you got to say in closing?
Live long and prosper.
Hey, have some fun and get something done. More importantly, you better film me before they kill me, my man. Peace.